That's a drive-through too.
I wanna have a milkshake. I wanna know the secret.
Thought I was a rude boy, had beat, fucked it out. Walked to the beat and my own drum was underground. Raised in the church, but it was more like a deadbeat. The world looked better, but they left me for deadbeat. Over my head deep, pursuing what they will offer me. The world is yours.
Once upon a time, a man or a woman or a husband and wife team got the munchies late at night, and they thought to themselves, if there was just a place that had a place that I could drive through and get food, life would be better. Then we could wear our pajamas in the car and we could go get some food from a place and not have to be embarrassed about walking around in that place. That couple created the drive-thru. So real talk, I don't know if it was a man and a woman who invented the drive-thru. That could be fraudulent. But I'll tell you this, the more I ride around town, the more I realize, man, we have a lot of places that picked up on that idea and decided to create drive-thrus, man. Documentaries have been made about how bad drive-thru food is for your body, right? We've seen some of them. Drive-thrus get a bad rap because of the speed with which they cook food. Restaurants that have drive-thrus typically have a drive-thru because they can prepare your food so fast that you won't get upset about the wait. In other words, the cost of waiting for a little bit of time, the pros outweigh the cons, so you're not worried so much about the little short wait because you're getting relatively quickly, you will receive a hot meal, even if that meal is prepared in ways that could be damaging to your health, right? But we've heard enough about that, so I don't want to talk about that, man. I want to talk about this notion of convenience. Convenient. I'm convinced that I was born into the age of convenience. I mean, clearly, from 1975 on, this has to be one of the most pronounced periods of advancement in the way of convenient technology. I mean, just the fact that I'm able to film this video right now, you know, which I ain't supposed to be doing, is proof that you can, with ease and with convenience, do things you would have only dreamed of doing before. I remember being a kid, and we didn't have 7-Elevens in my neighborhood. To be quite honest, there weren't any 7-Elevens where I lived. But there were convenience stores of sorts. We called them liquor stores, right? And most of us are not strangers, even if you live in another country, with this idea of a store that sells spirits. In my neighborhood, particularly, they were connoisseurs or they were proprietors, purveyors even, of malt liquor. All right, so there was a certain kind of liquor that was sold at these stores in my neighborhood. But needless to say, they didn't just carry liquor. They didn't just carry Hennessy and Old English 800. They also carried deodorant, Pampers, beef jerky, pickles, pig feet, and if you asked, they actually had paper you could roll your own cigarettes with that they called zigzags. Now, since this wasn't the 1800s, growing up, I always knew that it was kind of interesting that they sold that paper because I didn't think people were actually making their own tobacco cigarettes with that paper. But needless to say, you could get just about anything at the liquor store, and it was, in our neighborhood, it was our 7-Eleven, it was our Circle K, our Stop and Go. And it was all predicated on convenience, because who wants to drive, who wants to get in a car and drive miles to a grocery store, or a mile to a grocery store, when you can walk to the corner? I've come to realize that convenience is not so much about speed. I haven't met too many people who like slow things. I mean, we like slow cooked meals after they've been prepared, but at the end of the day, I'm a basketball coach. I'll tell you something, I don't like slow players. I like athletic players. There's no such thing as a slow break in basketball. There's a fast break. There's a way to run a fast break. Convenience is exactly like it sounds, man. I'm interested in the path of least resistance. I don't want any obstacles, but I do want solutions. If there are negative consequences, I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in one thing. I'm interested in things happening the way I want them to happen in a reasonable timetable. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's what convenience is. That we are a culture that's overrun with an affliction called convenience. We're in a setting at least in the part of America where I live, where we want everything the same way. We want our food the same way. We want to be able to go to one place and buy everything that we would buy in a grocery store. The drive-thru is a phenomenon, man. The drive-thru is such an indication of where we are as a society and how we don't want to wait for anything. And I see it in the sports realm more readily because nobody really wants to put in the hours it takes to actually get good at anything anymore. And I say anymore like I've been around for 60 years and I know I haven't. But what I do know is that some things just absolutely take time. Most of the things that we really value, the virtues that we want, if you want courage, it takes time. If you want to be a patient individual, if you want to gain toughness, if you want to be the type of person who can withstand adversity, overcome it, it takes time. We walk our way into addiction over several years. In some cases, over a period of maybe 12 to 15 to 20 to 30 years, a person will walk themselves into some horrible corrosive addiction, whatever it is. You know, we can be addicted to ourselves because we just love us and us when we look in the mirror. It's a long time to get out of those patterns, in most cases. Drive-thru is a setup. Drive-thru is a setup. In this society of convenience, we have no patience, and so we see a lot of people fail because they give up earlier than they should. I think Biggie Small said back in the day in one of his songs that he wanted to get things the ski mask way, fast way, the convenient way. Watch out. Watch out for the ski mask way, though. At some point, you got to get used to being challenged. Get your game up. From 6 man and it's done. Beware of convenient.
Rocking a new Swift. I thank God for his newness. The show goes on, but I'm memorizing a new script. He's much more than a new twist, and that's why my heart is exclusive. It's a good morning.
You turn my dark nights into sunshine. You sure good to see the sunshine on my life. The night was rough, but thank God for the morning. Love is in the morning. My life is deploying. Since I've been set free, it's plain to see.
They say anything worth having is worth fighting to grab. I fight following the light of my path. Every step with them stronger than the last.